Hello, everyone. Today we are doing a interview with one of the legendary educator. He's very famous around the world. He travels at many educational institute as well as companies, and he gives talks about a very timely topic called e-learning. And he was also a professor at George Washington University and in Texas as well. And he has published many books on e-learning, and his goal, I think he's going to tell us, Dr. Khan's goal was to spread this knowledge to the humanity, to the entire world. So with that, thank you so much,
Thank you, Faisal.
Dr. Khan.
Thank you.
So can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your venture? And you have published so many different books, so our audience would be thrilled to hear about all this.
First of all, thank you, Dr. Faisal Kader. And I feel very honored to be interviewed by you because you yourself very intelligent individuals.
Thank you.
And I came to United States in 1981, after finishing my high school there. So I went to school, Indiana University of Wilmington, did my undergraduate in chemistry, and then my PhD in instructional systems technology there.
Yeah.
And later on, I was a founding director for Education Technology Graduate Program at the University of Texas at the Brownsville campus. And later on, 97, I came to George Washington University and I built a graduate program called Education Technology Leadership. So this is what I professionally do, and I'm originally from Chittagong, Bangladesh.
Excellent. So Dr. Khan, as you have educated yourselves into instructional methodology and everything, can you tell us a little bit about your main theme of e-learning mechanism? What's the methodology, what's the strategy, and how are you spreading that talent to the humanity?
Well, very good question. Actually, when I came to United States, and when I was in Bangladesh, I used to see on the televisions, I never saw a computer before in Bangladesh, right? So see all the innovative, creative things, kids are doing.
Sure.
So in the United States, I went to Northeast Missouri State University. And there I saw a room full of something, looked like television. So there's a fellow Bangladeshi guy named Shah Jahan. He was studying there. I said, Shah Jahan, this country must be very rich. He said, why you say that? I said, because in one room there's so many television. He said, stupid, that's not television, that's got computer. Because I never seen this before.
Sure.
Those are VT100 terminals.
Absolutely,
You see?
absolutely.
So from there, I was thinking that, this country must be very interesting. Obviously, I know it's a lot of advancements in science and technology. So then I always had the belief that if these guys can use technology, we are in Bangladesh, we are very inquisitive mind, we want to learn, but we don't have those technologies.
Sure.
So it was my ideas of how can we use these technologies to improve learning, even in Bangladesh and globally.
Sure.
So it was wonderful that I have decided that why not put together a book called Web-Based Instruction.
Wow.
Because web
Very
came,
good.
and then why not call it Web-Based Instruction, first of its kind. So I have the credit of actually coining the phrase Web-Based Instruction in the field.
Sure.
And then when we did the book, there are 350 universities using the book for reference and textbook.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So that encouraged me. And later on, I met Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the web.
Yes,
so he was the keynote speaker. I was the keynote speaker in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So he was sitting next to me and I was telling him, your creation, you should get a Nobel Prize because your creation changed the whole world. And now I become little known because of your work. He said, how did it happen? I said, so I gave the book Web-Based Instruction, which I didn't bring here. So it was very encouraging.
Fantastic. No, this is excellent, excellent. So especially as we're trying to learn like from home, actually, I mean that learning has changed significantly. It doesn't have any border anymore.
That's right.
Like, somebody could be sitting in Africa, somebody could be sitting in Australia, in Asia, and you could be learning the same material by your tool. So this is an amazing power that you're bringing into the community. Have you seen any change to that particular thinking process for pandemic? Because I think because of the pandemic in the last 3 years, things have shifted towards e-learning even more. Yeah. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
That's wonderfully said, because previously I have traveled almost all different places. You know, I was in NATO conference. You know, by the way, NATO conferences declared me as the founder of modern e-learning. You know, so after COVID, people knocking me back, because when I said something about online learning, they would question about the assessment, credibility.
Sure.
But after COVID hit bad, they wanted to do it.
Exactly.
You see?
Exactly.
So that COVID is disastrous for the humankind, but it is a blessing for online education.
Sure.
So in that particular situation, you know, people were creating learning materials on the web, and including Bangladesh and all countries, they benefited for this because they could not go to schools. So COVID-19 has started another innovation for us, thinking wise, because you don't have to convince people anymore, because they're telling, you know. So one thing,
it has become a norm, actually.
They become a norm. So what I'm very proud of. So I want to show you some of the work. So one of my books is called you see this Managing E-Learning book. So this book has been translated into 23 languages. So because people are getting very interested in online education, this one is Italian book.
So for the audience, if I may emphasize the fact that Dr. Khan not only, you know, preaching his e-learning methodology in the US, he's traveling all over the world and teaching people from different languages, and he went out of his way to publish all these books in their own languages. So, you know, you're going to show us like Italian translated, Bengali,
that one came,
Arabic.
the Italian one.
Wow, this and even
this one is
Thai.
Thailand.
Right? Yeah.
Thailand,
So,
this book, and this is going to be free download soon. And this one is a mega success, is in Arabic.
that is amazing.
Arabic come from Syria, Damascus, Syria, is the last release. And this one is from my beloved Bangladesh, Prime Minister Office.
Yes.
So there are other books, you know, the recent one came from Russia during this Ukraine situation, and also one I'm working with Uzbekistan, and Portuguese is also coming out, and Vietnam it just came out last month, and then I'm going to Turkey. So what to say that because of COVID-19, people are showing their interest in online education, because it is a way to go in this world of digital transformation.
Exactly.
It's like whether you go with it or you lag behind. So the books are spreading all different places. I don't know any of my colleagues have books, so many languages been translated.
Right.
I work with them, I ask them, what is the infrastructure in your country? What they like, what is the pedagogical principle? So it's a great homework, you know?
Yes.
Every countries have a different ways of doing it, you know?
And there is some cultural aspect of it too, the way they learn. And the way, so, I mean, obviously, I'm sure you don't know all these different languages for sure.
No, I don't know.
And this is an amazing work, like a mountainous work, to be able to translate everything in those languages. So you do, I mean, I'm just always been curious, like, do you work with some linguists and locally who sit with you and then, you know, get this translation done hand in hand with you, sitting next to you, or how does it happen?
No, what happened, that most of the professors who translated my book, they already used my, this book, which is like, this is a very popular book.
Yes.
It's a best-selling, Managing E-Learning. So they learn about my work, like a Spanish version. The person who translated in Spanish, she was a student, she's a doctor. She is a student of my another student, Dr. Rene Corbe. He was my student in University of Texas. He's a director now. So they know each other. And they would contact. One with the Vietnamese one, the translation done by professor in linguistics. She has so much problem understanding it. Right now, Uzbekistan, they have questions too. So you learn there are situation, rules and regulation what you cannot do.
Yeah.
You know? So it is a cross-cultural communication. You have to be very ethical.
Amazing, yeah.
It's
yeah.
very ethical consideration. Even in Bangladesh, the government did this one.
Yes.
We had so many meetings with different professors, teachers, especially translating the terms.
Right.
Some of the terms cannot be translated into local languages.
language.
The
It's
e-learning
very
is
difficult.
e-learning.
Yes,
In
exactly.
Bangla, e-learning means e-shikha or e-proshikkhon. But it is more difficult in local language.
Right,
But if you say e-learning, they understand.
Exactly, and another thing, I had the pleasure to go to Bangladesh with you a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And I see you are a very human person. Your goal is to spread all this knowledge to the mainstream, like local people, unprivileged people. You didn't discriminate between who is highly educated or medium or low educated or not that wealthy. So what you did, I noticed that you remember we produced that Gyan Bahon,
Yes.
which is like a transportation of knowledge, and you literally had a little car with all this e-learning educational theme, and then you pretty much drove around all the corner of the street in Bangladesh and in Chittagong. So do you want to talk about your work for the humanity, for the community, and the way you touch people, you educate them, and that would be good for our audience.
Well, thank you. You see, my website, which is badrulkhan.com, in there I said, when passion becomes profession,
Yes.
life is no longer boring. My passion and profession is e-learning. So that means when I go to Bangladesh or any other countries, especially from Bangladesh is a developing country.
Sure.
So I go to like a rural area with this vehicle, Gyan Bahon means knowledge carrier. So we're showing them how e-learning can be useful for people from medical, health, economics, education, all sectors of life. So it is an exciting moment for me. But you may ask a question: where in the world you get the time?
I know.
I'm very lucky. I do a lot of gardening. It's called Khan's Garden. I do a lot of squash and different things.
Sure.
So while I'm doing it, I'm also thinking. And I try to. This is a very difficult subject, e-learning. When I was invited to speak to the vice chancellors in Bangladesh, one of the vice chancellor from BUET, Bangladesh University of Engineering Technology, the VC, she passed away.
Sure.
She told me that you made this e-learning so simple for us to understand.
Exactly.
Anything with electronic devices used for learning, this e-learning. That's what you said.
No, this is amazing.
So I guess that's the way to touch people.
Yep.
Because this is a good thing, and this should be used.
Yes.
And we should be used wisely. That's why we have to do research that which country are having this problem, and I bring it to the people. He said, if this is the problem in your country, one of the books that came first from, I forgot the name, Slovenia.
Yeah.
So they have different things, different culture have different way of saying.
Now this is amazing. No, thank you so much, Dr. Khan. And I have noticed your passion, and other passion is gardening. So as you are growing the plants to give them, a bigger, well-rounded tree, you're doing the same thing, molding all the generations after generations by doing this powerful e-learning tool. So thank you again, Dr. Badrul Khan. It's a privilege talking to you, and I'm sure our viewers will appreciate your good work. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much for watching, and my website is badrulkhan.com.
Yes.
See you some place sometime. Thank you.